Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of State of the Market. I'm Scott Zaino from Scott Zaino Realty Group and Keller Williams Luxury Real Estate. We do these State of the Market reports every month to keep everybody abreast of what's going on in the real estate market. Lately, the real estate buzz has been loud and clear. People are talking about real estate wherever we go, and everybody wants to know what's happening. And so we're very pleased to do these uh, MLS, data updates for everybody so that they can keep a pulse on the market. It's so important. Timing is so important in life, right? So let's jump right into it. We're going to get into our different quadrants. So we have our days on market, active properties, list to sale price ratio, and the last is the uh, uh, months of supply. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and share my screen here with you guys, and we're going to go right over here. So the first quadrant that we're going to talk to is about the median sales price. So at the end of October, it ended up at 662,500, which was up. We like to go back 3 months just to show some data, right? So September was 650, and everybody said, "Oh, I'm going to wait for the houses to, maybe go down in price." Well, unfortunately, they went up. So they went from 650 to 652. Not much, but they went up versus down. And then in August, it was 650. And in July, it was 653. So we're currently sitting at 662.5 for your median sales price here on Cape and Islands from Plymouth to P-Town. So next, we're going to go to active listings. So this tells us how many properties are on the market. This includes land, condos, and homes. So right now, we're at 773 active properties. Is that a lot or is that a little? Well, that's not a lot. Well, let's take a look here and see what's going on. So just back down here, we were at the lowest point of inventory, which was back in February, which is 359 units. Since February, we've doubled. So yes, we have come up in inventory. However, if you look at this screen here, which is back before COVID, so COVID was March of 2020, right? So we were at 1,900 units. So this is typically where we hover, right over here, 1,900, 2,000, 2,500, 2,600 units. That's pre-COVID, and that was more of a balanced market. Today, 773 units. All right. So the next quadrant we want to talk about is days on market. So this lets everybody know how fast properties are going under contract. And right now we're currently seeing 15 days on market. Is every house going to go under contract in less than 15 days? No. Some are going under quicker. Some are taking a little longer. The average comes out to 15. So 15 days is 2 weeks, right? So it's still not a long time. So the last time that the market, when your house went under contract in 7 days, which is a week less, right, was right here, just in June. So between June, July, and August and September, it's doubled. So it went from 1 week to 2 weeks. So what that's saying is the houses are still going under contract very quickly, but not as quick as they were back in February. All right, when we only had not February, excuse me, May, June, when we had 7 days on market. All right. And then the next quadrant we want to talk about is your months of supply. So we're sitting at 2.1 months of supply. And everybody knows, because we've talked about this before in the past, that less than 4 months of inventory is a seller's market. 4 to 5, maybe 5 to 6 months is more of a neutral market. And anything greater than 6 months of inventory is a buyer's market. So what does all that mean, Scott? So what it means is if no houses came on the market from today on, we would run out of inventory in only 2 months. Okay, so you can see here what my 3-year chart. So the last time it was a buyer's market, which was 6 months more of inventory, was right about here, August of 2019. And then right around COVID, we were at 4.6, so it was more neutral. And then, of course, everybody was buying houses, and there was a lot of houses coming off market. And now here we are today at 2.1 months of inventory. So it is still a seller's market. So if you're still considering, or if you're on the fence a little bit, you're not quite sure if you should wait till now or wait till the spring. It's still a very, very good time to put your house on the market. Don't forget, as long as you got the 3 Ps, right? The right price, the right presentation, and the right promotion, then your house should sell. If you have one of those Ps or two of them, or even all three could be off, then you're not going to get an offer on your property. And then I've added the fourth one, which today it seems like everybody wants to get their house sold immediately, like it was, just 3, 4, 5 months ago. And things are taking a little bit more time. And, so the fourth P that I added was patience. All right. So y'all need to have just a little patience. Your house will sell if it's priced right and you've done your homework and it's not overpriced and you have it promoted properly, which means it looks great. And your agent is giving you proper exposure, then you should have a sale in around 15 days or so. Now, what I'm seeing here lately is properties that are about 600,000 or less. Those are going very quickly, 3, 4, 5 days, maybe 10 days. 600 to a million, it's a little bit tougher, a little bit harder, to get that quicker sale. But I do see some of them happening. And then over a million and 2 million, that's a different ballpark. But I do see some of those go under quickly too, as long as they have the 3 Ps. So what I wanted to get back to today was I wanted to get back to just letting everybody know that when you do list your house on the market, I've got my fancy tool set here. I'm just gonna come off screen share for a minute, and I'm gonna hold up. These are the basic tools, right? A basic hammer, a basic screwdriver, Phillips and a regular, okay? These are just really basic tools and a pair of basic pliers. So if you get back to the basics, okay, and think that your house is priced appropriately, and that it's presented properly and it looks the best it can look, and being the best value in your price point. So for instance, if you have a house that's $1 million and there's say 8 competitors, you want your house to be just a little bit under that $1 million price point, but you also want it to look the best that it can possibly look. So there's no objections, no pushbacks. So today, my big conversation is let's get back to the basics, okay, on how we were selling houses pre-COVID, because the market has changed, right? Buyers are taking a little bit more time. They're looking at more houses. It's a little more lackadaisical as far as making a decision. So get back to the basics. Your hammer, your pliers, your screwdriver, Phillips head, and your regular head. Use those basic tools and you'll be fine. Let's get back to the screen share. The next screen that I want to share with you is this one right here. Okay. All right. So when the economic uncertainty dust settles, those buyers and sellers who were on the sidelines will jump back in the housing game. Demographic trends support elevated purchase demand in the years to come. So it's a question of when, not if, for the housing market. So what we're talking about here is what's happening with the housing market in the future. And if you're on the sidelines, then eventually everybody jumps back in. It's just a matter of when. Prices keep going up. So I would suggest that you probably don't wait. But then again, you've got the interest rates that might be a little higher than you'd like. So what we're telling people is, or sharing with people, is the different options that they have for interest rates. You go a little bit longer on the term, maybe reduce the payment. I saw one the other day, 40 years. Instead of 30 years, they go in 40 years. It's just a payment. You're probably not going to keep the house for 40 years. So what's going to happen is you want that low payment so that you can make your ends meet, but then you'll end up refinancing down the road when the rates come back down. So let's talk about this one here, number 3. And in times of uncertainty, people will follow the certain, right? So what's happening with mortgage rates, and will they keep rising? Well, they just bumped up the Fed just went up another 3/4 of a point. So I would say, yes, they are going to keep rising a little bit more. then they're gonna probably plateau off and then probably come back down after the inflation has all been exhausted and people just can't handle it anymore. So they will. That's what the government does. They play with the interest rate up, and then when things get too slow, they turn their rate down, and people stop buying again. It's like a, I don't know, hot and cold kind of thing. So right now they're raising the rates up to unfortunately keep inflation down, but they'll be going back down. It's just a matter of when. So let's talk about this one here. Let me slide 6. So mortgage rates rise for the 6th consecutive week. So today we're sitting around 6.7. It's probably closer to 7, a little bit over 7. But you can see what they've done here just in the last few months. Okay. Everybody remembers those low interest rates, and then they crept up, and now they're up around 6.5, maybe 7%. All right. Let's go to number 8. It says the aim of Fed tightening to curtail demand and effort to tame inflation. When it comes to the housing market, the Fed's actions are working. Home sales, both new and existing, are falling. Builders have cut back on production in response to the rapidly declining affordability, and annual house price growth has slowed from the peak of 21% growth in March to 16.7, which is still very, very good. You got to keep in mind, the average property goes up between 3, 4, maybe 5% every year. We were seeing increases of 21%. That's tapered off closer to 16.7. While even just 2 months ago, rates above 7% may have seemed unthinkable, at the current pace, we can expect rates to surpass that level in the next 3 months. So what they're saying is, again, like what I was just mentioned, rates are probably going to go up. Maybe they'll hit 8, maybe 9, maybe even 10%. I was talking to someone the other day who was in the banking business for 40 years, and she said that you might see it as high as 10 or 11%. Let's hope they don't get that high. All right. Let's go to number 10. So there's no doubt that increase in mortgage rate will make home buying even more challenging. Buyers may still find opportunities as these changes coincide with the time of year when buyers have historically found the best market conditions to obtain more bargaining power. So what they're saying here is there are still buyers out there. There's a very big buyer pool, and this may be the right time to jump in where you have less competition, less people competing, less offers to compete with, and it might just be the perfect time maybe to pick up if there are any foreclosures or short sales out there. There's very few that I see, but maybe there's something does pop up that would be a good opportunity. So the winter months here on the Cape, it would be a great time to pick up a buy, seeing that there's not as much competition, not as many offers. All right. Let's go here. So what's ahead for home prices, right? Home prices, I think, are just going to continue to go up. They're just not going to go up as much, right? They're not going to depreciate. So the root issue of what drives house prices almost always is supply and demand. So we still have a very, very big supply, very, very big demand of homes, and our supply is low. I showed you that earlier, right? 700 and some odd units. That's very low compared to 25 or 2,600 units. So we still do have a very big buyer pool, right? I think if interest rates were at 4%, buyers would be buying houses left and right like crazy. But that's tapered off a little bit because of the higher rates. But those buyers are still out there. They're still looking for a good home for their family. They just want to make sure they're getting it at a good value. Okay. Look at number 15. What are the experts saying right now? So Ivy Zelman projects U.S. house prices will fall 4% in 2023 and then another 5% decline in 2024. And then we're not at the risk of a collapse today in the financial system like we were before. It's true. Housing may be a little frothy right now, but so housing prices may come down or they may plateau, but not to the extent it happened. All right. Go to number 29 here. So this is a good slide because it's showing that homeowner equity gains year over year was about $60,000. So if you would have bought a house a year ago, what they're saying is year over year that there's average equity is went up over $60,000. That is phenomenal. Okay, so waiting on the side doesn't really make sense if prices are going to just keep going up. Get in and get that lock in, get a nice home, and get that equity and reap those rewards. It's like a hedge against inflation, right? Inflation goes up, and then your home and equity went way up too, right? But if you're not a homeowner, you can't capitalize on those equity gains. Let's look at 32. So I wanted to show you this slide because so many people are still renting, and I get it. Some people have to rent for whatever the reason is, but this is just showing a scale going back from 1988, where rents were like $300 a month or whatever, and they've just kind of always gone up. You don't see them ever going down, right? You've never seen this little mountain of red here. It's never gone down. It's always gone up, and that's just the way it is. Rents just go up; they don't come down. So the way to offset that would be to buy a piece of property, lock in on a monthly mortgage that you know you're going to pay every month, okay, and reap all the rewards, tax benefits, and everything else that's included, and not have to worry about is your rent and have it go up. Now, what they're saying here is, the average rent doesn't say how many bedrooms, but it's $1,300 average median rent since lately, the $1,200, $1,300 a month. But that's really super low. I mean, I just had a friend of mine get a 1-bedroom apartment. It was $1,800, and the 2-bedroom was like $2,200. To rent a nice house, 3-bedroom, 2-bath with your family is probably $2,500. So you can definitely do better than that and jump in, grab a house, do your mortgage payments, and pay less, the same or less, but reap the rewards that come with being a homeowner. Um, uh, Being a homeowner is not a right; it's a privilege, right? You have to have the right credit. You have to qualify for these loans. So um, let's take a look at number 33. So one of the reasons why people do buy homes is because it's secure and stable, right, for their family. They have a nice, safe roof over their house, privacy, right? Personalization and home improvements, things you can do to your home that you might not be able to do to a condo that you're renting or a piece of property. Health benefits, financial education, because you can borrow against your house if you need it for college or a pool or you want to do an addition to your house. And then civic participation, being involved with a neighborhood, with other people around you to enjoy the area and have your kids grow up together and things like that. All right. And then I want to go over here, number 70. Get there in a second. There we go. So buyer demand, let's talk about that real quick. So end of the summer sees continued slowdown of home showing activity. So yes, the market has slowed down as far as the amount of buyers going into properties. How do we know that? Because of this slide right here on Showtime. So Showtime is a company that has the lock boxes on those doors, right? And every time someone opens and closes the box, it gets recorded. So the more times that box gets open and closed, the more the company can tell that there's more people going through the property as far as activity. So what they're saying here is the end of summer, see continued slowdown of home showing activity. Well, less people looking at homes. I agree with that. The more moderate pace at which home showings are slowing down and the increase in markets that saw more showings per month, this listings are signs that the market may be starting to find a new balance. Okay. Buyers are continuing to see less competition for homes and have more time to tour homes they like and consider their options. So we're in the Northeast. So the amount of buyers that went in year over year, in August of year over year, was down 4%. Okay. That doesn't mean the buyers aren't buying. That means it's just the amount of buyers out there have dropped. Okay. So let's see here. We want to hit number 73 real quick. Talk about the interest rates again. Today we're sitting around 6.7, 30-year fixed. And then, you do have options. Like I said, you can look at adjustable rate mortgage. There's even some buy down programs that some of the lenders are doing. They're trying to come up with some creative programs that make sense for the buyers and make it a little more palatable if you're not quite sure you want to lock in something fixed. They do have some great adjustable rate programs. So where are rates going to go? So first quarter, Freddie Mac is thinking 5.68. Today they're at almost 7, so they're thinking they're actually going to drop. The second quarter, they're thinking 5.63, so about the same. Third quarter of next year, they're thinking that maybe they'll come down to even maybe 5.5. And then next year, this time, they'll be probably around 5.4. These are just projections. I've heard it's going to go the other way, closer to 10, 9 or 10, but we'll see, okay? So right now, these are the rates and where we're at and what the professionals are thinking, where they're going to go. So if you're thinking about waiting to the spring, it may pay off, but it may not. So right now, the only thing I can share with you is to, get your pre-approval from your lender and go around, look at some properties, find one that you like, try to get an adjustable rate if you'd like, or maybe do some kind of a buy down for a year or two. And then if the rates do go down, jump in on one of these and then refinance. That's about the best you can do right now, because with the house prices keep going up, you don't want to lose out being on the sidelines and losing out on those equity gains. Okay, so that is it for today's October State of the Market. We want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us. We love doing these State of the Markets for all of our clients. So whether you own a house or you don't own a house or you're looking to purchase a property, this video we hope is for you and shares a lot of good value and a lot of good information. So it's all about being the smartest people at the closing table, and that's what our job is to help all of our sellers and buyers make the right decisions. So what are we going to do? We're going to get back to the basics, right? We're going to get back to the basics, right? These are the basic tools, right? And that's what we're going to do. We're going to get back to the basics. We're going to price all of our homes accordingly. We're going to be the best priced property of all the competitors. We're going to present your home in the best light that it could possibly be shown. And then we're going to promote it to the world with our exposure and marketing and things of that nature, social media and things like that. And then we're going to be a little patient, okay? So thank you again for sharing a few minutes and walking the walk with us, as they say. Until next time, thank you so much. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Talk to you soon.